Welcome to Hoardganize with professional organizer Rachel Seavey. Every Sunday at 6 p.m., Rachel shares her expertise and compassionate approach to help you deal with overwhelming clutter. Rachel?
Hey, collectors! Welcome to the Hoardganize Podcast. I'm your host, professional organizer Rachel Seavey, and this episode is an introduction to the 6 human needs. Through my training with Tony Robbins and Chloe Madonis of the Robbins-Madonis Training and Strategic Intervention, I have learned that there are 6 human needs. And I believe this is why you're cluttering. So what is strategic intervention, and what is the difference between life coaching and therapy, and what are the 6 human needs? All of these questions will be answered during my upcoming series that covers the 6 human needs and why you clutter. Let's start out with a brief description of strategic intervention. And I just want to note that some of this I've borrowed from the Strategic Intervention Handbook. Didn't want to reinvent the wheel, or I'm not as articulate. So strategic intervention is a project dedicated to extracting the most practical and effective forms of strategic action and communication from a variety of disciplines. Ericksonian therapy, strategic family therapy, human needs psychology, organizational psychology, neurolinguistics, psychology of influence, and much more. The goal of a strategic interventionist is to create happiness, understanding, and harmony through helping individuals and groups to harness their inner strengths in creative and systematic thinking. A strategic interventionist combines the talents of life coaching with the art of deep spiritual understanding and dynamic teaching skills. Again, I'll paraphrase from the Strategic Intervention Handbook. Now, this knowledge that I've just obtained, combined with a decade in the field as a hoarding expert and professional organizer, is going to give you just the jumpstart that you need in your life to get organized and to create the life that you desire. My clients get to experience all of this firsthand, and that's not fair. I mean, I want to be able to share this with all of you too. And not everyone can afford a professional organizer or a life coach. I understand this. This podcast is for everyone to enjoy and learn what I just learned with zero cost. I love you guys. I love my listeners. You've reached out to me, and believe me, I've listened. And we are back on track. We're full force for the rest of the year, my dears. So next, I will briefly answer a question I get all of the time. What is the difference between a life coach and a therapist? Okay, this is a tricky question. I do have friends that are therapists, and I'd say they don't really appreciate life coaches like I do. But some therapists do. Some therapists have switched over to life coaching or adding life coaching to their therapy practice. So, and I also, I understand that not everyone even wants a life coach. I still think that you're going to learn a lot from the 6 human needs. And for those that are interested to listening, to understanding what a life coach is, and the people that commit to doing the work with a life coach end up living much more desirable lives. And life coaching has gotten really popular in the last 2 decades. And it's strange because a lot of people don't really understand what it is. It isn't therapy. There is a difference. So coaching tends to focus on the present and the future rather than the past, like therapy does. And coaches help people identify their goals and any obstacles that they're facing. Coaching involves guidance and support, but there's a real big emphasis on accountability and enabling people to do much, much more than they would ever do on their own. And coaching is really just about a client starting from where they currently are in life and receiving inner support as they do the work necessary. So people with therapy, people usually seek therapy to cope, to learn coping skills, or to come to terms with something that's happened in the past. So in therapy, people are often seeking tools to handle emotional issues that stem from past trauma. And I love both practices, but they're both very different. Whereas to simplify it, coaching focuses more on the present and the future and what you want out of life, where therapy goes into the past and possibly if there's something in the past that's holding you back from what you want in life. And I think it's wonderful if you can afford it to have both. And if you are suffering from a substantial mental illness, definitely recommend having both. I mean, life coaches are not clinicians or not therapists. They can't diagnose, they can't write you any prescriptions. And you can have a life coach and a therapist at the same time. I mean, anyone can have a life coach. It's not fair to say that a certain person doesn't need a life coach. I have a life coach. You could be a senior citizen that wants a life coach, or a senior in high school that wants a life coach. People with PhDs, people battling drug addiction, people in a great marriage, people getting divorced. Anyone can have a life coach. So I hope you have a better understanding now between a therapist and a life coach. Next, I really like to spend the rest of this episode covering each of the 6 human needs so that I can really lay the groundwork for the next couple of months as we work on this together. And I want you to be open for breakthroughs on why you collect. I want you to understand why you hold on, why you won't let go of stuff. And so definitely grab a pen, a pencil, some paper, and take some notes as I briefly go over each of the 6 human needs. And as I describe each of these 6 human needs to you, I want you to think of them and how they apply to your life. How do they apply to your clutter more specifically? Today is just a quick overview on each 6. I will be going into each human need individually on individual podcasts. I really want you to learn and understand why you're hanging on to some things and why you can't let go, and also what you can do instead. I mean, what are you going to do with your life once you're organized? Let's talk about that. So some of the material in this brief description I've borrowed from the Chloe Madonna's website, but most of it's in my own words. There are 6 basic needs that everyone seeks to fulfill. The first need is for certainty. We need to feel safe. We want to be certain that we avoid pain. We want to feel certain in our environment, certain in our relationships. We need to be certain the ground we stand on is steady and that our own ceilings won't cave in at any moment. Where our next meal will come from. Knowing how to get health care when you're sick. And something as simple as, you want to be certain that your friend or your neighbor won't just randomly attack you. These are just a few examples on what constitutes a basic sense of certainty. Infants need certainty, as well as the child, the adult, the elderly person. And the degree to which certainty is needed or desired varies from person to person. Some people feel secure and certain living in one room and collecting an unemployment check. Others feel certainty only if they make $10 million every year. Some people are certain because they're surrounded of mounds of belongings and they know they have stuff. And some people feel certain as a minimalist. They don't want anything in their life and it makes them feel certain. How important is certainty to you, collectors? Does your clutter make you feel certain about anything? Does it make you feel safe? Are you certain you're overwhelmed with it? What sense of certainty does collecting and saving bring to you? Does it make you feel safe? Does it provide you comfort? The next human need is the need for uncertainty. Yes, Mother Nature has a sense of humor. Everyone needs uncertainty, also known as variety, in their life. I mean, we like different foods, different clothes, different atmospheres, different haircuts, different nail polish colors. I mean, if we lived in the same boring life, like Groundhog Day, or every single day was exactly the same and there was no variety, we would not be happy collectors. So just as certainty brought us that comfort and joy, uncertainty also does the same thing. We need excitement. It reassures us that we're alive. For some, variety may be satisfied by watching the news on the television. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's uncertainty and variety all day long. For some of us, it may be getting every single color on your QVC, whatever it is, that you're obsessed with at this time. A lot of people love variety. Oh, I love that jacket. I'm going to get it in 3 different colors. Maybe I'll get it in 2 different sizes too, because, I'm always up and down in my weight. Others, they seek uncertainty and variety from extreme sports. I mean, look at the UFC or the hockey guys. I mean, that's pretty extreme. That's some uncertainty, some variety. I mean, if you're a compulsive sex or drug addict, that's uncertainty, that's variety. I mean, everyone needs to satisfy the need for variety, for uncertainty. I mean, some people have a lot of pets. I have pets. That definitely causes uncertainty in the home. I mean, one could get sick, knock over a glass of water onto your laptop. One might need his nails trimmed, a new collar. Your dog, like mine the other day, could bolt out the door and try and, scare a walker by. I mean, that definitely provides you with variety and uncertainty. If you have pets, you have variety. If you have clutter, most likely you have variety. I mean, you like everything. You like your scissors. You love your bags and your containers and all the different kinds and colors of scissors and bags and containers and magazines about every single topic, food magazines, organizing, of course, magazines, home and garden magazines, all the magazines that they send you when they want you to reorder stuff and buy stuff. I mean, variety, dear collectors, is something that you definitely thrive on. What brings you variety? Just as much as we all need certainty and to feel safe and certain and know everything, I mean, we need that variety. So, dear collectors, what brings you variety? What brings you variety in your clutter? What various things are you collecting? The third need is for significance. Every person needs to feel important, needed, wanted, significant. I mean, as babies, we all needed to feel that we were number one. Significance comes from comparing ourselves to others. And in our quest for significance, we're always involved in some sort of pecking order or questions of superiority or inferiority. This could be in your family. This could be within your friends or at work. Some of us feel significant because we've achieved something, built something, succeeded at something. We got a new degree. We have that fancy high-end dress. We have the corner office. And some people, quite frankly, seek significance by tearing down something or somebody. Some of us feel significant, like I said, with a certain handbag, a certain pair of shoes, some sort of brand name, some entity that makes you feel significant. Some feel more significant as they're filling up their cart at the store. Significance, on its defense, leads us to raise our standards. It could come from providing to family or for others and from doing meaningful work. Some really feel like they need to make a major contribution to humanity in order to feel significant. Some people need to take care of their parents or their loved ones or relatives, family members to feel significant. Some people feel like they need an entire wardrobe for every occasion to feel significant. I mean, look at all these. I live in the Bay Area, so these gorgeous, big, expensive, or they're fuel efficient or electric, but they're so expensive, these cars around here. And a lot of people around here definitely feel significant based on what kind of car they drive. Some people, on the other hand, achieve a sense of significance by failure, by being the worst at something, by always having something going on, by having low self-esteem. You could always be sick, and then you feel significant when people are worried, when people call you to see how you're doing. Whatever the measure of significance, a sense of being important is necessary to all of us. What makes you significant? What makes you feel significant when it comes to your clutter? Are there items that you belong that make you feel more or less significant when you're alone or out in public? Do certain people make you feel significant? Perhaps you've always got something going on and there's people that reach out to you and see how you're feeling, and that makes you feel significant. The fourth human need, collectors, is for the experience of love and connection. An infant needs to be loved and cared for during a long period of time if it's to develop normally. Infants who are not held and touched will die. It's a study, it's research. Infants who are not held and touched will die. This need for love continues throughout our lives, and it's epitomized by people like me, romantic souls, the concept of romantic love. There's going to be this one person out there who's going to devote their life to us and make us feel complete. But, in some cultures, romantic love doesn't even exist. I mean, it's replaced by the love of relatives, love of friends. It could be your tribe. And some of us, experience loving connection in all sorts of ways. You could be on the phone with the home shopping network folks ordering items, and they make you laugh and they make you feel special, so you feel connected. Other people go to church or get involved with groups or even clutter groups to experience connection. And I know a lot of people that experience love and connection at work. I mean, not even romantic love, just people they've worked with that they really appreciate and enjoy, and they feel loved and they feel connected with people at work. It could be customers or clients coming in, and people connect with you. I get a huge sense of love and connection in the work that I do. It's such a blessing. And, and like myself, a lot of us are loved and connected with our pets. I'm someone who experiences immense love and connection from my pets, even my bearded dragon. I mean, we all need to feel loved. Where do you get your love and connection from, collectors? Do you get your love and connection from your belongings? Do you love your things that you own? Do you love the experience of shopping? Do you get connection from other people that are shopping or the person at the end of the phone that's taking your order? Where do you get your love and your connection from, especially when it comes to your clutter? The fifth human need is for growth. If we're not growing, we're dying. When we stop growing, collectors, we die. We need to constantly develop and grow emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. We grow and we change physically as we develop from infancy to old age. We grow and we change emotionally with every experience. And we grow intellectually as we learn things and we respond to events and to the world around us. If we're not growing, collectors, we're dying. And anything that you want to remain in your life, your money, your health, your relationship, your happiness, your love, it all has to be cultivated. Otherwise, it will degenerate. Some people satisfy the need to grow by working out or by reading poetry or other sorts of books. Others need to constantly study and learn in order to feel that they are truly growing. Others go to church and become more spiritual or go on sabbaticals and meet Mother Earth. I mean, what makes you grow? And this could mean with your clutter. I mean, as you obtain your clutter and as it comes in and you're not letting it out, I mean, your clutter piles are going to grow. So if that's what's growing in your life, collectors, be honest. And if you're taking any classes, I mean, you're listening to this podcast, so you're growing as you're listening to all of this. Take time, write down what in your current life is making you grow. The sixth human need, the last need, is for contribution, to go beyond our own needs and to give to others. Our life is incomplete without the sense that we're making a contribution to others or a cause. And giving to others may mean giving time to community service, making a donation to a charity that's important to you, or by constantly buying things for other people. I know a lot of you feel a sense of contribution in buying things that possibly your friends or your family members might like one day. And contribution could also be represented as rescuing 11 cats. I mean, that's elaborate. That's an elaborate contribution. And contribution is essential to a sense of fulfillment and to happiness. How do you contribute? Be honest. If you buy stuff for your friends and family and that makes you feel like you contribute, that's great. I know a lot of you are crazy at donating. Oh my gosh, I see the donation slips coming in. You're donating, you're contributing to, the alley cats, you're contributing to the horses, to the pigs, to the monkeys, to PETA, to your political campaigns, to anybody that sends you anything. How do you contribute? Now, just to clarify, Tony Robbins teaches that the first four needs that I covered, certainty, variety, love, significance, those are essential for human survival. They are the fundamental needs of the personality. Everyone must feel that they've met them on some level, even if you have to lie to yourself to do so. Subconsciously, you might be doing this, but you're meeting every single need on some level. And then he feels like the last two needs, growth and contribution, are essential to your fulfillment in life. They're your spiritual needs, and he feels like not everyone finds a way to satisfy them, but they're very necessary. This is contribution and growth for lasting fulfillment. And I've learned from Magali and Mark Pasha from Strategic Intervention that they believe that all six needs are equally important and necessary for lasting fulfillment. That you do need growth and contribution in order to feel completely fulfilled. So they're very similar. I love all of the needs. I've learned both strategies. I agree with both methods. They go together. And as long as you're aware of and understand that there are six core human needs that you're meeting in good ways or bad ways, and we'll discuss those more thoroughly, you're going to understand why you clutter. Your clutter, collectors, is based on your current connection and your current depth with your six human needs. And in order to let go of the stuff, you must understand why you hang it onto it in the first place. How does clutter meet each of your six human needs? Tune in to learn about each human need on the Hoardganize Podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, click that thumbs up button, and leave a comment. Until next time, collectors. And remember, happiness is a place between too little and too much.
Now, a short ad break from Clarity Coaching.
Do you feel overwhelmed with clutter? Are you having trouble finding a place to start? Sometimes it's hard to ask for help, especially with all of the judgment and shame out there. What you need is an experienced, non-judgmental guide to help you navigate through your clutter chaos. I'm a guiding force that's going to help you empower yourself so you can live a happier, healthier, more organized life. I will take the time and I'm going to hold the space for you to understand your world, your dreams, your relationships, and your clutter. I do this with no judgment and no other agenda, but to help you achieve what you want most in life. And this, my dear collectors, is something that most people have never experienced. To experience a life that you truly desire, schedule your free clarity coaching session today by emailing me at rachel@collectorcare.com. That's rachel@collectorcare.com. Or call me directly. I'm at 925-548-7750. That's in America, so that's area code 1-925-548-7750. Clarity consultations are complimentary for individuals seeking my coaching services, and they're very useful to make sure that we're the right fit for each other. Stop living in chaos and start living the organized life you desire.
This has been Hoardganize with Rachel Seavey. New episodes are available every Sunday at 6 p.m. and also on the Collector Care YouTube channel. Download Rachel's Affirmations for Collectors on iTunes or Amazon.com, or sign up for Rachel's blog at collectorcare.com and receive 7 tips for clutter-free living. Thanks for listening.